Hello. Today's topic is why are Latinos treated differently under the U.S. immigration system? One way we can see that they're being treated differently is when they're fleeing persecution from their country because the government in their country is not protecting them or cannot protect them, they are treated different than somebody from Europe. Presently, people from the Ukraine are suffering a terrible situation because Putin and the Russian government is attacking them, and they're fleeing for their lives, and it's understandable why they would flee. But at the same time, they've only been fleeing for the last 2 months or a little bit over 2 months. And at that point, at a 2-month period, the President Biden and the US government has declared that they will be receiving some sort of legal entry into the United States and possibly and probably under a refugee status for humanitarian reasons. Now, what really concerns many Latinos is why are Latinos treated differently? Why are we not considered people fleeing persecution when governments, Latino governments in Ecuador, in Central America, do not protect their people, and those people are fleeing and forced to go to the border? There are no refugee camps presently in Latin America where someone who is fleeing persecution for many different reasons and who aren't being protected by the governments of their nation cannot go there. They can't go to a refugee camp because none exist for them to go to. And they too are fleeing for reasons that they're being persecuted either by gangs, and most of those gangs have power over the government because of the drugs they sell, because of the weapons they hold. Either they are government officials are either paid off or too afraid to confront these gangs or cartels in their countries. And so basically they have a lot of political power within the country, either by bribing or scaring government officials and police officers. So another situation is in Ecuador, where the Ecuadorian government and the Chinese nationals who invest in Ecuador are mistreating Ecuadorian indigenous people. There are many tribes in Ecuador who have their own nations within the country of Ecuador, who are being persecuted because they want to protect their lands, they want to protect the environment. They have a different political stance. They're fighting for their political rights. They have their own ethnic groups, their own social groups, their own politics within Ecuador, and they're trying to protect those rights. And they've been attacked on multiple occasions by either the Ecuadorian government or officials and companies from China. So it's really concerning that a Latino cannot seek the same treatment for fear of persecution that somebody from Europe can get. Now, I understand it's a major crisis that's going on right now. They could be given in the Ukraine, but those people could be given some other status to enter. And once the situation gets resolved, they can return. But it doesn't seem right that people are waiting months at the border where they're forced to go to the border because there are no refugee sites, that they have to wait months in order to enter the United States and pursue an asylum case and get some sort of status, refugee-like status for their fear of persecution, where right now the border is letting Ukrainians come in and apply for asylum and refugee status. And the Ukrainians are here getting temporary protected status. So it's a big problem for Latinos who are treated as if they're criminals when they come to the border. You hear the press, you hear the Congress from both sides complaining about how these people are entering at the border. They're not getting permission ahead of time, but there is no way for them to get permission ahead of time. So they're forced to come to the border, forced to request asylum at the border. Many are women whose countries don't protect them, and they're fleeing persecution from men who are who are taking the law into their own hands, and they can't get any protection from their government. And there's been case law in the past that's allowed women to apply for asylum and get granted asylum. And unfortunately, that got changed under President Trump, because those cases were starting to win starting in 2014. You know, so I think Latinos have to really put political pressure on their congressmen that Latinos are treated equally when it comes to the immigration laws in this country. And I think it's something that the community, the media, the Latino media, Latino businesses, and churches have to really push Congress and the president to have Latinos treated equally under the immigration law. Thank you.